Doing well in school can be tough when the deck is stacked against you. That's what some folks in Detroit were up against.
Detroit has had a tremendous amount of national media who has descended upon us, who want to tell our story.
As far as education, about 42% of Detroit's public school students don't even graduate.
And they all have gotten it wrong.
Fall is here, hear the yell, back to school, ring the bell.
Stop letting other people tell our stories. There is no Superman coming. We got a lot of superheroes in our community, but they don't wear capes.
I don't think anyone in the city of Detroit has done more for vulnerable children in our city than the Skillman Foundation.
Skillman is a great model.
I believe they're risk takers.
They put their money where their mouth is.
I credit the Skillman Foundation for having the foresight to really invest in our young people in a different way.
We have to work different, think different, be bold, be transformative.
You have to think outside the box.
I'm optimistic that by 2020, that every single child in this city will have access to excellent schools.
The Skillman Foundation is an investor in children. And with that being said, Carol Goss, the president and CEO, thinks it is vital to not only invest in schools, but in neighborhoods too. Because Skillman believes if you have good neighborhoods,
school reform will have traction, and it's the residents and the schools together that's going to change kids' lives.
We've made a long-term commitment to 6 neighborhoods in Detroit: Brightmoor neighborhood, Osborne, Southwest, Chadsey Condon, Cody Rouge, and the North End neighborhood. We made a commitment to them for 10 years.
We will invest $100 million of the Skillman Foundation in those 6 targeted neighborhoods.
An example of a solid.
Our future is tied to the future of Detroit, and we think Detroit's future is tied to children.
Since 1960, making sure kids come first has been their mission, following the lead and the vision of the foundation's founders, Rose and Robert Skillman.
Robert Skillman was a 3M executive. He died very young. Rose was his wife. They never had children, but she loved children. And she left her money to make sure that children would do better beyond her lifetime.
And now, more than ever, our children are in the middle of a crisis. So Skillman is teaching parents how to do better. They're transforming neglected neighborhoods. They are really listening to the concerns of the people and empowering them to take ownership of their communities. They're also working with those struggling schools to help them become one of the good ones.
I think the Skillman Foundation's approach and strategy is about creating more of those schools, replicating them, growing them, and scaling them.
You can't do that downtown. It's got to be in the neighborhoods, and that's where Skillman is.
That kind of accountability and that direct engagement with community is not something that many foundations have an experience with.
They know what the issues are. They know how to approach those issues. They know how to convene people at the table.
Like them, a diverse group of believers in Detroit. We're talking about educators, business leaders, philanthropists, and everyday people who are getting things done.
There's been practical, effective programs that have been put into place because of the Skillman Foundation.
Every dollar we're investing is actually turning into a result.
But Skillman has yet another gigantic goal on its shoulders.
We are not going to be successful until we can make sure that every 6th grader knows that they will be able to not only graduate from high school, but they will not have any barriers, including finances, in terms of getting a college education and being prepared for this new economy. We know that's the end goal, and we've just got to work hard for it.
A lot of great things happening here in the city around education. We're not where we should be, but we're heading in the right direction.
Here we are, no one else. We walk to school all by ourselves.
This is Detroit. You know, we have resiliency. We have innovation. We have entrepreneurship. We have a backbone like nobody else in the country.
We can't change it overnight, but over 10 years, if we can restart a pipeline and bring in private dollars and public dollars, then we think our children and youth not only have a chance to change one generation, but to actually disrupt the cycle of poverty. Now, we need a lot of prayer, and a lot of hope, and a lot of hard work, but we really are seeing some major changes take place.
I can tell that we are gonna be friends.